Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you so much for clicking on this video and being here. It means a lot. So we're going to be diving into some Marvel/Sony news. We're going to be talking about the latest entry in the Venom franchise called Venom: The Last Dance. I think the name's stupid, but I'm still excited to see the film. And obviously we're going to be talking about the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe. You know, Morbius, Madam Web, Kraven, those kind of movies that's been happening over at Sony. So let's dive straight into it. So this article comes to us from comicflicknews.com. So Tom Hardy's Venom 3, new update confirms a long-standing suspicion about the Marvel movie. So after months of speculation about its title, Sony Motion Pictures Group chairman Tom Rothman has confirmed the major fear regarding Venom: The Last Dance. While plot details remain under wraps for the 5th installment in Sony's Spider-Man universe, set photos suggest the movie will pick up shortly after Eddie Brock's Spider-Man No Way Home crossover cameo. The ensemble cast for Venom: The Last Dance will feature Tom Hardy, Juno Temple in an undisclosed lead role, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I always get that name. It's always hard to pronounce that name, so I apologize. But Chiwetel Ejiofor, man, I can't wait to see that guy. That guy is an absolute killer as an actor. I love the guy. And Clark Bacco, not sure who that is, with Kelly Marcel, who penned the script for all 3 movies, making her directorial debut. So in a recent interview with Deadline at the Cannes Film Festival, Rothman discussed the studio's plans for their various franchises, specifically addressing their Marvel content. Rothman confirmed that Venom: The Last Dance, I hate that name so much. I really hate that name. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I just think it's just such a bad name. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Will be the final movie centered on Tom Hardy's alien vigilante. They say it's going to be the final film, but if this movie comes out and it kills it at the box office and generates a massive box office total, you're going to see Tom Hardy back in this role in no time. They're going to back up a dump truck to his house, they're going to pull out all the money, all the gold bullion, and Tom Hardy will be back in no time. If Venom: The Last Dance is successful, you can take that to the bank. So, will be the final movie centered on Tom Hardy's alien vigilante. However, he assured fans that the franchise's swan song is going to be huge. So they're saying that this new movie, Venom: The Last Dance, the final Tom Hardy Venom movie, is going to be huge. They have to have Spider-Man in there somewhere. Fans have been clamoring this for years to have the Venom vs Spider-Man on screen in live action. It has yet to happen, sorry. And this being the last live action Tom Hardy Venom movie, he has to cross over with Spider-Man and come face to face, surely. I mean, if they left the last movie and then there was no kind of face to face confrontation with him and Spider-Man, I mean, it would just be such a missed opportunity. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, man, fans have been asking for it for years, and it would blow everybody's mind to see that image of Tom Hardy's Venom standing face to face with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That would generate all the box office that they would need. So, the last Venom movie. So, the confirmation that Venom: The Last Dance will be the final Hardy-led Marvel movie comes as Sony appears to be re-evaluating their plans for the future of the Sony Spider-Man universe. Absolutely, they have to re-evaluate. They had Morbius, which failed. They had Madam Web, that failed. And I don't think Kraven the Hunter is going to do all that well at the box office. The movie looks great. It's like R-rated, and in the trailer where he's fighting that guy in the Jeep and he bites the guy's nose off. Guys, if you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. But the film looks so fun. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, man, he's an absolute trooper when it comes to acting. The guy is fantastic in pretty much everything he's in. And I'm really, really crossing my fingers and rooting for Kraven the Hunter. I hope it's something good. Obviously, they had the Rhino tease in the trailer as well, so we're going to get a look at Rhino. But, man, I hope that movie does well, because if it comes out and bombs, kind of like Morbius and Madam Web, then the Sony Spider-Man universe is in real big trouble. And I think it's going to be on hiatus for the next few years if it comes out and bombs. But let's cross our fingers and hope that Kraven does well. So, despite the 4 movies released to date, the franchise has struggled to achieve the same traction as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, it's not going to. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, even in its sort of declining state, is still a juggernaut at the box office. Even with its efforts to bridge the two through Hardy's No Way Home cameo and Michael Keaton's appearance in Morbius, check out the performance of Sony's Spider-Man Universe movies on Rotten Tomatoes and the box office below. So we've got this small chart here which kind of breaks down the Sony Spider-Man universe, kind of looking at the Rotten Tomatoes critics, audience score, and the box office totals as well. So if we look at Venom, that got 30% Rotten Tomato critic score, so it was really bad. Only 3 out of every 10 who reviewed it liked it. The audience score was 80%, so there's a really big sort of discrepancy there between the critic score and the audience score. But it's the audience score that counts. They're the ones that pay the tickets. They're the one that funds the movie. And ultimately, they're the ones who kind of increase the box office. So it's the audience score that's more important. It went on to make $856 million worldwide, which is insane. Almost got $1 billion for that first Venom movie. Then we have Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Carnage was just underused. That villain of Carnage should have been a big bad that should have been used over several movies instead of being a one and done villain. I think they did Carnage dirty, and I know a lot of you guys agree with me on that. But that Rotten Tomatoes critic score, 57% for Let There Be Carnage, 84% audience score, so pretty much the same as the first Venom nearly, and that made $506.8 million. A movie that had Carnage in it, and it made less money than the first Venom. That's real bad. You know, like one of the biggest, nastiest symbiotes around. And yeah, the fact that he was a one and done villain, they made a huge mistake there in my opinion. Morbius, we know what we can say about Morbin time. 15% Rotten Tomato critic score, really bad. 71% audience score, I'm surprised it even got that. And it made $167.4 million, really bad. And then we're on to Madam Web. It's hard to say that name these days without kind of laughing. That had 12% critic score, 57% audience score. How did this get 57% audience score? There was more than half of the people who enjoyed this movie. Like, what were they? Were they watching something else, thinking it was Madam Web? That only made $100.3 million. Wow, that's unbelievable. So the decline in box office for the Sony Spider-Man universe, from 856 to 506 to 167, and then landing on 100 million for their latest outing with Madam Web. So the decline in box office for the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe, wow, has that been disastrous for the studio. The first two Venom movies were considered large financial successes at the box office. Yeah, I mean, 856 and 506, man, that's really good box office. Despite receiving generally mixed reviews from critics due to their inconsistent tones and screenplay issues, while Sony's decision to double down on Hardy's movies made sense, their attempt to build the franchise around Spider-Man related characters without including the web slinger himself has not fully resonated with viewers. Absolutely it's not. I mean, but they didn't even put effort into like Madam Web. They gave it one trailer and the movie was so horrendously bad. A lot of people were saying it's a money laundering scheme. Because there's no way they intended this movie to make money. Like, the lack of effort and any kind of creative vision was just, I don't even know what was going on here. Like, yeah, it's just real bad. The largely negative reviews received by Morbius and the upcoming Madam Web, well, it's not upcoming anymore, previously past Madam Web, I should say, also seem to be a major factor in Sony's decision to potentially move on from the SSU. I mean, they've got the, you know, Across the Spider-Verse, the animated series going on, which is doing gangbusters for them at the box office, the critic scores. Everything is going great with their animated Across the Spider-Verse movies, but their live action is just struggling really bad. But that's because they didn't put any effort into it. So, on a side note, Prime Video recently scrapped development of the live-action Silk Spider-Man spin-off show. So yeah, there was a Silk Spider-Man spin-off show that was going to be on Amazon, and it looks like they've scrapped the show. Amazon don't believe that they're going to make any gains from it. But from what I hear, they're shopping the series around, so another streaming service might potentially want to pick up this Silk live-action show, but we'll have to see if it does potentially land on any other streaming services. So, which Sony is currently shopping elsewhere. Yeah, like I was just saying. So, meanwhile, the studio also saw a major setback in its planned El Muerto-focused movie following Bad Bunny's exit. El Muerto, nobody knows this character. Nobody cares about this character. What's the point in making this movie? It wouldn't generate any money. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 hardcore comic book fans who know of that character. But yeah, there's no way that movie would have made any money. If Morbius or Madam Web, which is way more known than El Muerto, couldn't generate money, then El Muerto itself, nah, it's not going to generate any money. So even if Hardy's time as the Lethal Protector ends with Venom The Last Dance, stupid name again, it might not mean the end of the Spider-Man spin-off universe, but rather a hiatus as the studio recalibrates its strategy. Following Hardy's movie, the long-gestating Kraven the Hunter is set to hit theaters. Although facing stiff competition at the box office, if Kraven proves to be a critical success, it could bolster the studio's confidence in continuing the franchise, Producer Amy Pascal remains interested in making the Sinister Six movie. Yeah, I mean, the Sinister Six movie, that would go down gangbusters. I think a lot of Spider-Man fans would be happy with the Sinister Six. But Kraven the Hunter, man, as much as I want it to do well, I really don't think it is going to do well. I think Madam Web and Morbius has really turned off people to this Sony Spider-Man universe, and I think it's going to absolutely bomb, which is going to hurt because this movie looks all kinds of, you know, it looks really fun. So, Hardy's Venom could potentially return in the future. Like I said, if the movie is successful, if Venom The Last Dance generates a good box office, then they're going to get Tom Hardy back some way, shape or form. He will be back to do more. And if he doesn't confront Spider-Man in this last movie, Venom The Last Dance, then you know he's going to be back at some point. There is no way that Sony and Marvel are going to let the opportunity of Venom and Spider-Man fighting on screen pass them up, because that's going to generate a shit ton of money. So you know that's going to happen in the future at some point. And then we've got the scene here where Venom's inside the deli and he's confronting this guy from the Venom movie, the very first Venom movie. That was one of the most fun scenes in the movie. I absolutely love that scene. And he bites the guy's head off, doesn't he? I think. Something like that. But yeah, this was such a fun scene from that first movie. And seeing Venom in live action, like I said, it's just been absolutely all kinds of crazy and wacky. I mean, what they did with Carnage, I'll just kind of reiterate it. They kind of didn't use Carnage to its full capacity. He should have been a big bad villain used over multiple movies instead of just a one-done kind of villain. Yeah, they did him dirty for sure. But guys, let me know what you think about this. So it looks like Venom The Last Dance could potentially... They're saying that it could potentially be the last Tom Hardy Venom movie. Although I have no kind of reservations about saying that it's not. Tom Hardy will be back specifically to fight Spider-Man. If he doesn't fight Spider-Man in this movie, which I'm pretty sure he probably won't. But yeah, there's no way that Tom Hardy is not going to come back at some point in the future. He loves this character. We love him as this character. And if the box office generates the revenue needed, then he'll be back for sure. And it looks like we're waiting on Kraven to see if Kraven does well at the box office. I don't think it will, but I hope it does. But yeah, guys, that kind of covers our news on the Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies and kind of looking at Venom The Last Dance, which is a stupid name again. I'm gonna hold my hands up and keep saying that is a stupid name. I don't care what people say. But guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Do you, like me, believe this is not going to be Tom Hardy's last movie as Venom? Or do you think that they're actually being truthful and saying that, you know, Tom Hardy is absolutely done with playing Venom? And what do you think about the upcoming Kraven movie? Do you think it's going to generate a good box office revenue? Or do you think it's going to bomb like Morbius and what Madam Web did? Whatever your thoughts are about these two stories, guys, jump in the comment section. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. And as always, thank you for being here. Click like and subscribe for more videos. And I will see you in the next one.